Hi, my name's Ria Shah. I'm a public health major here at Temple. Today we're going to be cooking a tofu vegan scramble pizza. The tofu vegan pizza is kind of a fusion of different spices and vegetables, and it's pretty simple to make. We're going to be using firm tofu. Firm tofu is usually better than silken because it holds its shape on the pizza better. Grape tomatoes or cherry tomatoes is fine. Mushrooms, baking soda, whole wheat flour, sugar, some kind of tomato or pasta or pizza sauce is fine. You're going to want oil, salt, pepper, vinegar, and a non-dairy milk. I'm going to be using whole wheat flour, but you can use whatever flour you want. I just feel like whole wheat flour is a lot more heartier and healthier than white flour. And the dough we're going to be making is more of like a flatbread kind of dough. The more you let it sit, the fluffier and bubblier it'll get, and I usually recommend pan toasting it before you put it in the oven so that it gets nice and fluffy, almost like a naan. So we're going to be using 2 cups of whole wheat flour. And we're going to be using half a teaspoon of baking soda. Next, we're going to add 1 teaspoon of baking powder. And we're going to be using a teaspoon of sugar. And then we're going to mix all the dry ingredients together in this bowl. So now we're going to mix the white vinegar and the non-dairy milk together. You're going to want to let this sit for about 10 minutes so that the milk curdles with the vinegar. And once 10 minutes has been up, or you start to see the vinegar and the milk curdle, you can slowly mix this in. You're going to knead the liquid into the dry ingredients as you do. So just pour it in like small amounts. The dough's gonna start clumping up, so just keep working your hands into the dough and incorporating all the dry ingredients into the wet clumps. If your mixture is too dry like mine is right now, you can feel free to add more oat milk. So once you have your dough ball, it should be pretty sticky and moist. We're gonna add a teaspoon of oil to it. And you can just massage the oil into the dough ball. And we're going to cover the dough ball with a paper towel, or a plastic lid is fine. Next, you're going to want to take your tofu, drain it, and kind of like press it so that any of the excess water gets out so that it doesn't like leak onto your pizza dough. And then with your hands, you can just crumble it to a bowl, mash it so that it gets nice and crumbly. So to spice the tofu scramble, I'm going to be using salt, pepper, paprika, cayenne pepper, and turmeric, but you can feel free to use whatever spices you want. I'm going to be putting about half a teaspoon each, but if you want it spicier or less spicier, you can do less. And then you can just mix all the spices into the tofu. So now that the tofu scramble is done, we're going to roll the dough out. It usually comes out best when you lightly cook it on like a frying pan, like on the stovetop first, so that it like has a chance to rise. 1 to 2 hours is the ideal time that you want to let the dough sit so that it can rise and bubble. So if you have a rolling pin, you can just roll the dough out, but if you don't, you can kind of use your hands and spread the dough out, or use like a cylinder. Oh wait, I can use it. So now we're gonna lightly cook just the dough on the stovetop. So you can move the dough to a flat pan. And you're gonna cook it on high flame so that it has a chance to bubble. So on the bottom, it's getting pretty brown, so you can take it off now. So first you're gonna wanna put your tomato or pasta or pizza sauce on. And then just spread your sauce on the dough. And you're gonna add any of the toppings that you like. We're gonna be using olives, mushrooms, and cherry tomatoes, as well as the tofu. And you can add as much tofu as you'd like. I usually cook it for about 5 minutes in the oven, but you can do it as long as you'd like. If you want a crispy texture, you can leave it in longer. So the pizza's done now. You want to check for like brownness at the bottom. It already got brown, but like the sides are gonna get browned now in the oven. And you just want, like, you're gonna wanna look for the ingredients, like make sure they properly set on the pizza. Yum. So the whole wheat flour definitely gives it like a heartier taste than like a regular outdoor pizza, and the tomato gives it a really cooling flavor, and you can taste the spice in the tofu. So this is more of like a personal pizza, but you can definitely share it. The tofu is really heavy, so it makes for a really great meal. Thank you for joining us today. If you want more recipes like this, look out for the new College of Public Health Community Cookbook coming soon.